Hello and good evening. Oh, squeak, squeak. It's Thursday at 8:30 at... Rewind. It's Thursday at 6:30. Thursday the 21st of November, getting close towards the end of the month. So, it's cold. I hope you're lovely and warm. But I'm a little bit toasty up here because I'm upstairs and the radiators are on. Hello Elaine, good evening to you. I was going to be a couple of minutes early and then the screen kept moving down a bit, so I was twiddling with the stand. I don't know what's happening, it's going down a little bit now. So hello Jill and John, hello Liz, hello Pat, hello Patricia. But saying that, when I watch other people's lives, they have far worse things happen to them than I do. Evening Bev, and hello Vanessa, and hello Tony. Oh, there's Sharon. Hope you're well. And Judith, hello. I know, another freezy day. Hello Sandra. It's so cold. And apparently we've got cold winds coming, haven't we? Hello Carol, hello Jill at the weekend. Hello Linda, and hello Alison. But we have the lights are being switched on in the next village up. Well, small town, I would call it. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Paula. And they're making contingency plans. Hello, Vanessa. And hello, Sue. So it's still going ahead, but no gazebos. Hello, Josie. Hello, Yvonne. No gazebos because they might fly away. But the lights will be switched on, whatever they are saying. I mean, you can't miss it, can you? You just can't. I mean, whether I shall go, I don't think so. But no doubt my daughter will be going there. Yeah, so speaking of my daughter, I don't know that she'll be watching tonight. But hello, Jeeta. She had a little incident today, like running out of petrol. Hello, Mavis. You have to put your electric blanket on. Why not? Anything to keep warm. Hello, Pat. You couldn't get on the group again last night. Oh, I don't know, Pat. So with Trisha, that's the one. So you should be able to get onto it. I'll have a look just to see that you are still in there. You should be. I haven't taken anybody out, so I don't know. But I'll just check and I'll give you a message if there's something wrong. But otherwise, you should be able to just search So with Trisha and you should be able to get in there because you're a member. Hello, Liz. And hello Celia. Yes, so I had a phone call. I was round at my mother's making sure she was okay and just about to leave, and Victoria gave me a call. Now I thought she was crying, but in actual fact she was laughing. Hello Shirley. Laughing, and I say, what's the matter? Mum, I need your help. Okay darling, what would you like? I've run out of petrol. So unfortunately, her route would normally be the same as mine. Hello, Mary. But she was almost back home, so I had to go back. I went to her. Hello, Patricia. Very cold in Ireland. Oh, okay, Pat. And we had to go and buy a petrol can at the petrol station, drive back to where she left her car. Hello, Amanda. And she didn't buy one of those cans that has like a filter bit coming out, like an elephant's trunk. Hello Marilyn, hello Karen. Oh yes, I've too hot for you, is it? Oh dear. No, I've lit the log burner as well, but I've left it for Martin now. Anyhow, so trying to just tip this into the petrol tank, well, a lot of it was going out as well, so she decided that there was there is a point to this, of course. It's my hands. In the back of her, where the petrol was going, there was like a little flap. So when a certain amount got there, hello Beverly, hello Joanna, hello Elaine, the flap opened, but then it closed. So a lot of it was coming back out again. So she had got a plastic coat hanger in her boot, which she broke the curve off, so there was a stick of plastic, and I had to hold that, opening the little, almost like a valve, if you like, so that it would flow into there. However, did you know that petrol will burn, or rather will melt plastic, because there on my hand I have black plastic, and my finger there, I had it somewhere else as well. Oh, it's on those two fingers there, because the plastic of the coat hanger had melted it and I cannot get it off. I have washed it, I have scrubbed it, and it's still there. So that's what I've learned today, that petrol melts plastic, and if it's on your hand it will stay there. The actual hanger stuck to my hand and I was holding it like this, stuck to my hand. Anyhow, she's home now, so it's fine. So not particularly interesting, but that was about the high point of my day, being the saviour. So good evening, Jane and Christine and Val. Don't know how long. Oh dear. Oh, sorry to hear. I hope you're well. Hello Lynn, hello Marilyn, hello Virginia. Taking a picture of the snow. We haven't, it came and it went. I don't know if there's going to be a bit more overnight though. You never know. Hello Dorothy. Sound is very quiet. Oh, I'll perhaps talk up a little bit louder. Do you know, I never use a microphone. I know a lot of people do these days, but I don't. So perhaps see if you can turn the volume up a bit. Hello Janet, you're warm by the fire, lovely. No, it didn't burn me, Celia, but it melted because I was holding it, I suppose. Hello Leslie. Have I tried painting? Oh, I could, couldn't I? I could see if that would get it off. I haven't tried that. Hello, Angela. And I have got some because my darling youngest son is, oh, there's Patsy. Hello, Patsy. Hello, Nikki. He's been painting and decorating for me, and he's coming back on Saturday. Lovely. Oh, you're hearing me. And Elaine's hearing me, Patricia and Elaine. Jolly good. Hi, Kathleen. Hello, Shirley. And hello, Ray. Lovely to see you all tonight. So, you'll perhaps notice in the So Trisha Sews group, oh, Sarah had 6 inches of snow. Oh, I noticed down in Cornwall that had snow as well, which is very unusual. Hello, Barbara. Barbara saying hello to everyone watching tonight. Excuse me. Lost my drift there. I was looking at the 6 inches of snow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyhow, it will come back to me. It's little bit like that. Oh, I know what I put. Oh, you love those embroidery designs. Just haven't got an embroidery machine. They will always be there. As I say, there's a link to where I bought them from. But what I was going to say, I did put a link as well. You know, I was telling you about a lovely gentleman who I think's name is Kevin. Oh, jolly good, Sharon, thank you. Sound is okay in Northern Ireland, so it's getting there. I put a link to the craft directory. Now, this chap called Kevin somebody or other kindly put together a whole list. It's very like the Create and Craft website was when you search for a particular supplier or a particular brand. And he kindly put me on there. So there's sort of a lot of crafting businesses that are there with their websites, with their Facebook pages, Instagram, all that sort of thing. So that if you need to find somebody, that's where you can look. So I thought when I came across it, I thought, oh, I'll share that to the group now. So what have I been doing today? I've been getting tonight's thing ready, and also doing a bit of instruction because tomorrow evening we have a patchwork wreath wall hanging, and I should be getting that done as soon as, well, the actual hanging is finished. We just need a bow, and I've been thinking for the last couple of days what sort of bow. I had some ribbon and I sort of gauged that against it, and I thought, no, that doesn't work. So I have another idea which I shall be sorting out tomorrow. And then next week, then we shall have, for the Sew with Trisha members, we will have the monthly giveaway. So we are only, what, 9 days away, the 30th of November. Oh my goodness, then it's countdown to Christmas. So everybody who bought their Advent boxes will be starting to open from the, is it Sunday the 1st of December? If we're Thursday the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, yes, Sunday the 1st of December. Do you know, saying that, when I get up these days, which obviously I do, always on a Thursday morning I think, oh, or did used to think, 4 weeks, blimey, Sally, 4 weeks. Yes, when I get up on a Thursday, I think, oh, I'll get up for 7 o'clock, switch on to number 73 and see what's on Create and Craft, because it was the sewing mornings, and now I don't have that. Sunday mornings, whoever was on, I would switch the telly on, 7 o'clock in the morning to see what was going on. Now it's not on. Okay, I watch Sewing Street, that's fine, but I used to flick between the two to see which I preferred, and it really is such a shame. I do hope, and I don't know anything. Hello, Marion. Marion, you've had snow, haven't you, on the Isle of Wight? Unless not everybody did, but I saw somebody on the Isle of Wight was having snow. So I thought of you and Patricia. Perhaps you don't want it anyway. But yes, I don't know whether something is going on behind the scenes, whether there will be another craft channel. I really don't know. But wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? You never know, you miss something till it's gone. Hello, Jan. Oh, that's good. Lovely to see friends, said Jan. It's lovely to see you all here tonight as well. Jeter's not had any snow. Oh my goodness. Wow. He was, Shirley, wasn't he? I watched a little bit of it, but not a lot. Not a lot. Oh, Kathleen misses Sunday morning. I know. I tell you what I don't miss. Getting up at 5 in the morning to be there for the 7 o'clock start, which I used to have to do. Oh, Beverly's got a great suggestion. Shall we set up our own craft channel? Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I tell you what I must learn to do. Yeah, I'll just go. Or Marion's had just a little snow, soon turned to slush, which was very slippery. Oh, that's not good, is it? You need it for at least a day so that you can build a snowman, but never mind, never mind. Yes, some of the suppliers have got great, they have, haven't they, Pat? That's right. And it's been very sunny here today, I must admit, Cheetah, and warm if you're sitting in a car. Oh, Isabel says there's plenty of snow in Aberdeenshire. So I know it looks as though there are plenty, and Virginia's won't run too much, you don't think? Oh. Yes, what I'm going to have to learn to do, no snow in Maidstone in Kent. Oh dear, Marilyn. Never mind. One day, it might be coming over there. They do keep saying the southeast, perhaps the southeast. I'll have to see if I can have 2 people on at the same time, so that I could actually have one of you talking on here as well. I mean, once upon a time, it used to say under any comments, invite them to the live, invite to the live. So I don't know if I'd have pressed it, whether I could actually have brought one of you in. And I think it would be quite nice for everybody, if anybody was willing, to be that second person as well. So I should have to look in to see how I do it. I'll have to have a practice with somebody I know, just to see what buttons I need to press. So let's just have a look here. There's snow. So there's no snow in Maidstone, no snow with Sue, which is Harrogate Way. The forecasting snow. Oh, that's Storm Bert. They are, aren't they, Shirley? But that's just a windy one. But you never know what the winds might bring with them. But Jill and John and Marilyn don't want snow, do we? But it's nice to see a little bit. But it just made it, you know, life carried on here. The boys went to school. It was just cold. I got cold hands. They got cold hands. And but they did like to see a little bit of it. Ice farming on the cars. Oh, forming on the cars, perhaps. Judith enjoyed watching The Search for a Star on... Yes! Do you know, Judith, I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't watch, I watched it on YouTube after yesterday's one. Oh wow, I thought, I didn't watch today's, but I'm sure she was lovely. But I absolutely loved, if you remind me what her name was, Judith, that would be great, but I can't remember. But yesterday it was a lady from Trinidad and Tobago. Do you know, I shouldn't say this, but I thought she was Welsh until I heard her saying she was originally from Trinidad and Tobago. I thought she was fabulous. Fabulous. I thought she would be absolutely ideal. I didn't watch her demonstrating because I don't know, I was doing other things as well. But I watched her intro bit to see what she was all about. I thought she was amazing. And I think usually they only pick 1 out of the 5, but you know, if there's 2 ladies that are so good, I'm sure they'd have both of them. But I thought she was amazing. So yeah, have a look at that. There's another one tomorrow. I wonder if I'll have to make sure I have a look out for tomorrow's as well. Oh, so there's Heather. Hello, Heather. And Joanna's not had any either. Oh dear. Oh, I thought you meant that for. Oh dear. No snow in Harlow. What colour's my felt decorations? It's not one of my felts. I should have used one of my felts, but Sally, I will admit, it was so cold that I couldn't be bothered to go into the studios to get some. So I found a big piece in here, and it was like some boiled wool. So it is felt in itself, but I'll have to have a look to see if I've got one that is very similar. There probably is. Good chilly evening. Hello, Jill. Oh, no snow in Farnham in Surrey. Quilting Antics, they are indeed. They are indeed. I haven't watched all of that. I've dipped into some. Excuse me. But yes, she is. Geraldine. Oh, that's right. It was Geraldine, Shirley. You're absolutely right. But I thought she was really, really good. Pat has to watch. Right, let's see. Geraldine says, Judith, lovely. Snow in Cheshire, but not too much. Cold and icy, yes. Thank you, Sally. I did those in the So With Trisha group, which I'm sure you're in. Yes, you are. On Tuesday. And there is a link. Did I put a link in the group? I think I did put a link in the group and in the machine embroidery group. I didn't demonstrate actually making them, but I thought you might like a link to where they were from. It was an Etsy shop, but the link is there should you decide to buy them. So tonight I'm going to show you about Lamifix. Now let me just have a look if I pick up. So just to show you the difference between here we are. So here I have just some plain batik fabric, and here I have, can you see, I've added Lamifix to it, so you can see how shiny it is. So Lamifix is basically, it's a laminating, it's an interfacing, it is an interfacing. It's a product which you iron onto your basic fabrics, and it becomes water resistant, wipeable. Now this one, this little pouch, I didn't put any lining in, but I just, you can see it there, you can see how it shines. So that is all completely smooth. It's sat without any wadding on it. It sounds a bit papery, can you hear? But it will do the job. Now, where's something else? I made something else here. Oh, that's right, here it is. There's my bit there. So then I did another one. Can you see that one? Now with this one, I did line it. Can you see that there? So I've got lining in there, and I've also got wadding in there. I've got fusible fleece. So there it is there. Now, what I would say, can you see, it's a little bit crumpled, if you like, just a little bit, as opposed to, here is a bit. And this is me being impatient. So there is another piece that I have done. I'm going to use that shortly, because what you should do, I was just trying to find, let me have a look, right. So here is the same, same fabric. There we are. So can you see the one at the bottom? Oh, it's a bit difficult to see. The one at the bottom has no Lamifix, and the one at the top does. So it, oh, that's better. So it doesn't change the colour. It does look slightly lighter, but it just gives a glossy texture to it. So it's totally smooth and glossy. Could it go on the wrong side? It could do, absolutely. Oh, you've not seen it before. But I like to put it, you can put it on any woven fabric. So I wouldn't put it on a stretchy fabric. I feel sure that because it would stop the stretch in your fabric. So you want something that isn't stretchy, as in your cottons. It would go on a canvas, but I do believe that it will be much better on a smooth fabric. So if your canvas is highly textured, it won't adhere as well. Now, Trisha, in her wisdom, I always want to get things done quickly. So here's one. So there is a bit of the fabric, which is not, would be great for wash bags, absolutely. So there you have got, you can see that shininess, that shimmer. It's not a shimmer, it's that gloss. And there is your flat fabric. So this one's a little bit crinkly because I had to turn it inside out. But the main problem was I didn't leave it long enough before I started to use it. Now, I've said many times before that when you fuse your fusible fleece or your H640, H630, you should leave them at least 20 minutes to half an hour for them to cool down, because that allows the adhesive to fuse properly. If you've seen me demonstrate, I fuse it and then I use it. Wrong. So you can quite often get away with it, but I do believe that had I left this a little bit longer, it would have been a lot smoother than it is, but it will serve the purpose. It was just something quick that I wanted to do. So, and as I say, this one sounds papery because I've got no interfacing in there. That's purely, with a batik, it's highly a high thread count, so closely woven, and I'll get away with that as well. But it's lovely to stitch with. Just standard sewing machine foot. Don't need any roller feet, doesn't stick. It's really easy to use. So as you can see, this one has Lamifix on. It is totally smooth. Now, Lamifix comes on a roll like this. I have put it on the website. Let me just have a look. So you can see this is what it's like. Okay, and it is like translucent on one side. That's the wrong side. That shiny is the right side. So it always goes, I've got a little bit cut off. So I haven't actually put a picture, it's just named Lamifix. Let's do it the right way. So that is how it's spelt. It is £2.25 a half metre. It's about 45 centimetres wide, which is 18 inches wide, and very thin. So there's a bit, that's the glossy side. Don't know, I'll just fold that up, see if you can see the difference. Oh, you can just there. Okay, so the top is the glossy, and it's sort of whiter, milky, cloudy on the back, and you'll feel that that has got a slight texture, not very much, but it's glossy on the right side. So the glossy side faces upwards. So the glossy side will sit on the top of your fabric, like so. So that goes on the fabric like that. There is the non-glossy side underneath. That goes down onto the top of your fabric. Obviously with batik it looks the same both ways. So I'm just going to iron on a little bit of this just to show you how it works and how easy it is, and give you a few tips as to what you should and shouldn't do. Now, where is my... Here we are. So, it needs to be on a flat surface. So I'm going to pop this, my little cutting mat, pressing mat even, down here. Let me just see if we are here. No, we're not there. So totally Trisha. So totally Trisha. Oh, we are. So let me just see. Oh dear. There we are. Oh, pressed on that. That's right. It is £2.25 for a half metre. Let me just turn that light down. Okay. £2.25 a half metre, £4.50 per metre. Where's that light coming from? That's better. Okay. So, as I said, there's no picture of it because I didn't get a chance to do a picture, but I did put the listing there. So it's 18 inches wide and half a metre's 20. So quite a decent sized piece. Okay, so I have, oh, have I got a little bit here? Oh, that's what I've got to put it on. So nice flat surface. I found I did some on the ironing board and it wasn't flat enough, which then gave me a little ripple. Now what I would also say, if you, I put two different fabrics, so I've got a seam down here. A seam doesn't help because I can see a little bit that isn't fused here. There's a little bit where there's a slight bubble and it's because of that seam. So I would always fuse it onto a solid piece, a single piece of fabric, always on a flat surface. So I'm going to pop that on there, and also you don't want it to go any further than the end of your fabric because it is going to go down onto your either your pressing mat or your ironing board, whichever you're using. So I'm just going to cut along here because I've got a little bit too wide. So let's just see, and that cuts really, really nicely. So it's slightly narrower, that's all right, that's fine. Now the other thing, you do not put your iron directly onto the Lamifix, you will melt it. And you do not want steam, so no steam. And you also want a mid heat. You want it to, don't want it to be absolutely hot, you want it to be mid. You want it to, it's not too close, there we are. So you don't want it for your cotton setting, turn it down from that, because you want a middle heat, a mid heat. It does say wool setting, but I found that far too cool. So we have our Lamifix with that milky side down, and as I say, you can feel that that is not glossy and see quite easily. This is the glossy side, it is far smoother. And you will also need a cloth of some sort. I've got a bit of cotton fabric and I'm going to place that over the top and iron onto it. So it does say 8 to 10 seconds, and it is better to start, I'm just moving smoothly. If you start from one end of it and go to the other, because you don't want air bubbles in it. So I'm going to lift that up just to have a look. Oh, and that looks as though that's fused quite well, but I don't know that that is perfect yet, but you can have a look. Yeah, now that is beautifully smooth. I can see where you can see it's a little bit cloudy coloured. That means it isn't quite fused. So if you start at one end and just go slowly down. So I haven't got it too hot. I'm halfway between. Okay, so there we are. So I think I've done enough, 8 to 10 seconds there. And then I would take it off of a pressing mat because that keeps the heat coming from underneath. And you saw how that had stuck that to there. So I'm just going to trim that away. And I can see now I've got a little bit down here as well. And I'll just trim that off. So I'm not going to use this because I have left that other bit. See, I can see just the tiniest bit there. I'm just going to do that once more because I can see in the middle there's a little bit that looks slightly frosted. So cover the whole area. No steam, just heat and a middle heat and with a cloth on top. So I think that now looks beautifully smooth. So I'm going, and I can feel it's still warm. So I'm going to set that aside. Now, what I would probably have done, yes, it will, Patricia. It will melt onto your iron without a shadow of a doubt. So always put a cloth over the top before you iron. Now, once it's cooled, if you've got any other, if you can see, I can see that that has fused to that beautifully. If you do find later there's a little bit that's bubbled a little or gone a little bit cloudy, you can turn it to the wrong side. I would still pop a sheet over there as well and then just iron that. But I think that has come out really, really well. Okay, so it is as simple as that. Where you can, I mean, my pouch and my bag would probably have come out a lot better had I waited until it cooled, but I ironed it on and then I started working on it. So I would suggest, without a shadow of a doubt, to actually leave it to cool and then you'll get a much better finish. So what I was going to show you now was how, so there is my little bit. You see that looks already as though that is folding beautifully. So I'll probably make a little mini pouch out of that. Now, the other thing I should have said, if you wanted wadding on the back, which is fusible, I would have fused the wadding to the back of my fabric before I started, and then laminate. So always put your wadding on the back before popping your lamination. So wadding on there, turn it over, and then put your laminate, Lamifix, and iron that on. Okay, so where is that my piece I was going to use? So I'm noticing it's here. So this is the piece I'm going to use. That's beautifully cool. This is the piece that I laminated earlier. And I'm going to put, I'm going to make it into a largish mug rug or a coaster. Let's just do that back up. There we are. So you can see the gloss on there now. So what I actually used, I hadn't got a circle up here big enough. So I drew around this thing here, this bias binding, and then I measured half an inch outside there so that I can make it a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to cut around on those dots, which will hopefully give me a decent circle just by following around. There we go, around here, and then I'm going to use this as the template. There we are. I might use these. I'm not going to throw the rest of this laminated fabric away, but I might use that for something. I might use it as a bit of a applique. Okay, so there is my circle. Now I'm actually going to give that a spritz of 505 because I want to put my backing on there. So I always spray wadding I never use, there we go. So, whoops, sticking to there now. So let's put a bit of, good bit of spray on there. So then I'm going to put this, oh, I can see that seeped through. Okay, so I just want to, I must have gone a little bit heavy-handed there. Okay, but that will dry out. So having done that, I'm just going to cut around the edge here, just to give me the circle. So that has just, I could possibly iron that to dry it, but I'm sure it will dry out. And while I just go around. So this is, and I did this particular little project because I thought there's no turning anything through. So we just laminated it and we're using it flat without, you know, it was easy enough to add a zip to, but we did have to turn it through with that risk of creasing it. Okay, so there is my base. So there we go. Right, I have my, it's not done very well just there. I can see it's a little bit longer there. Okay, so I've got my, there is my laminated cider, that's drying out already. And then I have got my ready-made, already bought bias binding. Hello Patricia, hello Carol. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this around so I know it is very slippy on here. So if you want to use clips, binding clips, by all means do. But I am going to, I'm actually going to stitch on that crease. So it's going to come in a little bit more. But I want to see where that is there. Okay. Now, first of all, though, I'm going to fold this back so that I have got a nice, neat edge there. So we can see where, let's have a look. Right, I'm going to move my needle so that that's in exactly the right place. And let me just move, there we go. That's it. Oh, right. So having popped that there, I'm going to use the bias binding and I'm going to make sure that the edge of the bias binding is going right round the edge of this circle. So you just pull it slightly so that the edge of the circle, so that the bias meets the edge of the circle perfectly. So let me just see, that's got that on there. Right, and I just make it there, that's it. So it is a fairly wide, this is an inch bias binding. So I'm just making sure, let's just come down a little bit closer so that I can put my hand around here. And I'm making sure that there we are, that the bias tape is right on the edge of this circle here. Okay, and I haven't gone for a small stitch length, I've gone for 2.5, just the standard, like that, and I'm just pulling the bias out, and you can hear it going into the laminate there. So I would have, had I got some, I'd have probably been better using 1/2 inch bias binding or 3/4 inch, because we've got a sort of but it's going to give us a nice edge here. So with my left hand, I'm just pulling that around, and because I moved the needle, it means that I'm using the whole width of my foot, which is hitting that crease line. And quite often, that's it. So I'm not stretching it as such. I'm just pushing it down, making sure that the edge of the bias is on that edge of the circle, and then that is going to work for us. So I'm coming around to where I began, and you can see how the bias is rippling. We want it to do that because it's rippling, it is going to turn back beautifully. So I need to be a little overlap here. So I'm just going to cut just about there, just so that I've got that overlap. And then, didn't need that big an overlap actually, but just carry on round and then just carry on along that line of stitching that I did there. Okay, so we'll trim that off. So now, with that, looks like a little sailor's hat, doesn't it? That can go over, but it is quite wide, so I'm actually going to trim that down, because as you see, when I bring that back, there's a good 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch that is too big. So I'm just going to trim around here, about half of it off. Actually, it'd be easier. I shan't be able to cut that. It'll be easier to cut from this side, so I can see. So that I'm cutting this back to about 1/4 of an inch. And then my bias is going to fit over there really, really nicely. Okay, so just trim that around. And the thing with this, it's laminated one side, it's not the other. Just making sure I'm not cutting my bias. So you can flip it over because it's going to look similar on both sides. I am making a largish coaster, but I'm just trimming away the excess. So now, as you can see, I've only got about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And then when I turn there is my binding. When I turn that back over, that is going to slip over like so. And when we stitch around here, that is hopefully going to sit really nicely around this edge. So I'm going to, could give that a little press if we wanted to, but I'm just going to pull that out so that the binding, I perhaps cut a little bit too much away, but so that the binding is right around the edge there. Let's just pull that out there. And now the other thing I should say, don't use pins, because we don't want to perforate the Lamifix. Okay, so that is just pushing that out. Okay, so that just fits, that comes nicely over there. And if I had some more binding clips, I would just put those on all around the edge, but I haven't got any more up here, I don't think. Can't see any. So let's just finger press that around there. You could, from this side, just give it a little press, and then just for safety, or just to make sure, now you could straight stitch all the way around this edge. That's right, it's a coaster using Lamifix. We could actually do, now where that is coming there, I'm going to tuck that in. So I don't want to see that little bit there. So having tucked that in, I'm going to move that binding clip over there to hold it. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that out just a little bit so that we get a lovely smooth edge the whole way around. And what we can do is we could do a decorative stitch on the top of here, or we could do a zigzag. There we go. And I think I might like to do, for a change, a zigzag, because if you do a straight stitch, which I more than often do around here, it means that on the back here, see, that looks nice and neat, doesn't it? On the back, it might not go on the white bias, it might go on here, or some might go on, some might go off. So to choose a decorative stitch, which let's have a look and see what we can find in the way of a decorative stitch. I think we might find that one. Let's just see. Let's make it a bit wider. That's it. I should perhaps have... right, so then we can have a little practice. Oh, I've got a little bit here. Got a little bit of spare just for a little practice bit. Whoops. Just to see what we are looking like. Wrong one. So I've got 2 foot pedals down here. Let's see what that looks like. It's not the easiest to see. No, perhaps I won't use that one. Let's see what else we could use. Another page. We could... Oh, that one looks quite nice. We'll do a... I could do with a darker bit of fabric, really, couldn't I? That's not dark enough. Let me just see. Oh, there's a dark bit of fabric. Let's just see what this one looks like on that bit. Oh, yes, that looks nice. So this is a wavy line. Can you see that there? Now, it would have looked nice in a thread, in a different colour thread, but I'm going to do it in white. You will be able to see it. So I think that's just about right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start, yes, I'm going to start around here, and so that I can make sure I tuck that little bit in there so that it's, so let's pop it here. So my foot is basically lining up with that outer edge, and let's just see if we can fold that. There we are, I'm just folding that back because I want that to come quite neatly. Oh no, decided it's not going to fold back. Let's tuck that little bit in. There we go. Just making it a little bit, yes, just being awkward. I just wanted it to be nice and neat. So I'm going to start stitching here. That's it. And it's going to make sure that that is held down. Now, let's just, I want to tuck that underneath and out of the way. So that's it. So I'm just using my seam ripper just to hold that down. There we are. And then, as you see around here, I'm just pulling this with my fingers just to keep that exactly where I want it to be in place. Whoops, you can't really see very well there, can you? Let's go there. But I am just stitching around this outer edge, and it's just giving me a wiggly line, which, because I'm doing it in white, is probably not the easiest to see, but I'm just pulling that back, as you can see, so that we get a lovely straight, smooth, curved edge. And that's coming around to where we began. So this would be an ideal opportunity to use some of those decorative stitches which we never ever use. They're there on our machine. We decide the machine is fantastic because of all of those. And let's see if, ooh, not bad for a joining, but not perfect. Okay. No. It's very rare that you can get a decorative stitch to join perfectly from start to finish. There we go. Just don't want that bit. Let's just turn that off. And you'll see here that the most of it, so there's the back, looks nice and neat, and there is the front. So you can see that there's a little bit of decoration all around here, but on the front that looks still quite neat because that stayed on my bias all the way around there. So there is my, yes, you can see it there. That's it. So there is my glossy side. So that can just be a little coaster. And if you want to flip it over, so this would be wipe clean because it's got the Lamifix, and that is beautifully smooth, just how I'd want it to be. And then on that side is just without. If you want to do it double-sided, you could. No problem there. Let's just have a look. Okay, so we have just about done. Let's take it out a little bit. There we go. So there is our Lamifix coaster, beautifully smooth. There is our other side. So with that decorative stitch, which you can see. Okay. But how easy was that? So your Lamifix, as I said, that's what I've cut out of there. It just makes, Janice Phillips Stripe, someone would happily give you some guidance. Oh yes, I could have a word with her. Yes, she does do it on her Facebook Live. I don't know whether I need something special to be able to do that. So here is your Lamifix. The side you're seeing there is the glossy side. The other side, as you can see, is matte. It doesn't, as I move it, it just stays the same. Whereas that side, you can see the gloss on there. So this goes down onto the right side of the fabric. So here's the right side of my fabric. We want the matte side underneath and the glossy on the top. You can see that's glossy. So that goes on the top. When we press, then we use a cloth or a bit of fine fabric and covering the Lamifix and press that, no steam, purely heat and a mid-heat. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be absolutely fine. Mid-heat, no steam, for 8 to 10 seconds, and then always leave it before you use it. And it needs to be, I'd left that other piece or this piece here, for at least a couple of hours, and that is just perfect. That little splodge there is because that's fused beautifully, that's where I put some 505 spray, too much on the back, just here, too much on the back there. But that feels really, really nice. It does really. So, easy peasy. Another product, yet another. I've had this for, well, not a little while, a few months, and I kept thinking, and somebody had sent me a little bit, I can't remember who, and said, have you tried this? Which I hadn't at the time, but it's really, you know, if you wanted to make it, it looks like your oilcloth, or also it's the less messy way of giving yourself a waterproof coating for something. So Eau-de-Coat is a liquid that you actually paint onto your fabric and let that dry. You may need 2 coats of that. Gives you a similar sort of thing. Would Heat and Bond work instead of 505? I wouldn't. No, it was purely a temporary adhesive. Heat and Bond, because you've already heated your Lamifix, I wouldn't put another heat on the back of your wadding. If you wanted, just lay it down. What you could do, before I had cut my fabric, you could have put your Lamifix side up and down onto your fabric square, and then just stitch 1/8 of an inch around the edge to hold it, and then cut the circle out, rather than putting another layer of Bondaweb or Heat and Bond to secure the wadding. But that would be a way of doing it, and then cut round so it's held in place. It was purely to hold the fabric in place while I cut around the other circle. Or you could have cut the other circle out beforehand. Okay. So, just another little thing for you to try. And I will leave you now to have some dinner. But I shall be back tomorrow at 6:30 on the So Totally Trisha page that you see those lovely little gingerbread men and all those things there. You want another wash bag? Yeah, absolutely. So tomorrow evening I shall be doing the patchwork wreath, and it will be finished, and it will go onto the website, the instructions, and for those Sew with Trisha members, it will be free in the files in the Sew with Trisha group. So there will be another PDF for you, all for your £5 a month. So I will say at this point, I know not everybody watching tonight is a Sew with Trisha member, but have a look at those PDFs. Make sure you download them all, because the end of the month is rapidly approaching. And Christmas will soon be here, and we'll be into another year of Sew with Trisha, year 3. We've done 2 years of the group, and there have been so many projects that I've been bringing to you, and I know all of you that are members have enjoyed it and have got enough to keep you going for a lifetime. Anyhow, less of that. Great inside a toilet bag, absolutely. So take care of yourselves, stay warm, which I'm sure you will. Thank you for joining me tonight. And the last thing what I nearly always forget to say is like and share, please. So thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.